Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Dragoon. We are in the middle of the Cashua Glacier. We are chasing after Lloyd, so let's do it. Gotta climb down some slopes here. A fun little section here, though, of course, maybe not as fun if you don't know exactly where to go. There are a few treasures along the way, but for the most part, I don't consider them too important, so... of course, the correct way forward is to take the long way. It's always the long way. It's never the short and easy way. So then we take over here, we go this way, and finally we head down, and there's the save point I was looking for in the last episode. Turns out all I had to do was walk just a little bit further. I wasn't in any danger or anything, but, you know, just wanted to be sure, because something might happen like that. Uh-oh. We heard a sound. Wonder what could be up ahead. Alright, so interesting little area here. I'm not sure what this stuff is really supposed to be. I guess rocks? But very strangely shaped rocks. And of course, whatever was making that sound before looks like it's getting ready to come out now. Monster angry about we entered here. Oh, hey, Kongol. Good to see you again. Always good when he gets a line here and there. Monster don't know coldness. A monster only knows to kill. It wants to get... Oh, yeah. Wow. Good job, Dart. Way to put that together. Or Miranda, whoever that was. Alright, so here it comes. Congo, Hashel, Miranda are the three that jumped out, but it turns out none of those three are actually in the battle. We are still, of course, with our standard party. So let's see what we're up against. Yeah, that thing looks like a pretty serious beastie there, doesn't it? This is the Windigo. So, there you go. This thing has a really high health total. I'm wanting to say it's around 10,000, and that sounds intimidating until you realize its defense is actually pretty low. It's really not so bad, so we can pretty much just pound away here. I may go ahead and just start with an agility down, though I may save it in case there's a time I really need it. I doubt it, but we'll see. So otherwise, we'll just attack it as usual. We'll kind of get a feel here. You can see Meru is dealing almost 200 damage. So that sort of gives you a sense that even though it does have a high health pool, it doesn't have much defense at all. And Albert's going to do a much larger number here. I'm going to say upper 800s. Yeah, 865. So we are already well on our way. We've dealt over 1,000 damage. That's 10% of its health right there. And of course, he's got a few different gimmicks. He should get a turn to attack here relatively soon. There we go. And we'll see what he does. He's pulling out with a big hand there. That's an interesting way to attack. He's a giant monster with a giant claw hand, which he can clearly see he can use to attack, but instead he decides to summon some weird phantom limb to come throw us up in the air. I mean, I guess he likes to showboat, who knows. But either way, neither of those things did too much damage to us, so we are still pretty much in good shape to just keep going and not even worry about it.
Blossom Storm!
Alright, Mare's up again. This is pretty much what you're going to be seeing a lot of this battle. It does change up a little bit, and it probably will here soon. But, you know, for the most part, we're going to be smacking the crap out of this thing and only healing when it's really necessary. Alright, so he's going to do his weird phantom hand thing again. And that might hurt Meru a bit. 278, that's actually not bad. She'll heal that in her next turn, in the next turn or two, so.
Yes. Go. Crash dance.
And of course, your usual stuff still applies. If you want, you can still Dragoon form with Albert. Get some Rose Storm going if for some reason you really need it. And this guy is a blue elemental, I believe, so, you know, Dart may be able to do some powerful magic stuff if you got Final Burst around this point in time, but, you know, I'm pretty much just saving the Dragoon stuff for if there's a time we really need it. Because he's still kind of just doing normal things for now. Although Dart is starting to rack up the damage a little bit. Yeah, it looks like he's in the yellow a bit, so we may just toss out a Healing Breeze just to go ahead and, you know, there's an item guy right back there, so I can just pick up another one. It's not a big deal. But so we can just go ahead and make sure everyone's about as good as they need to be. Not too much on the other two, but you know, every little bit helps. And then we're right back at it.
Blossom Storm!
Alright, any day now, I think, yeah, this is going to be it. So you see, he's actually going to grab one of our party members and keep them inside of his chest cavity there. It might hit us. That's such a weird thing to say. It might hit us. Well, yeah, it might hit you. What do you think it's been doing? So you can see it's now brought out two little snow cannon enemies, and Meru is trapped inside of the Windigo itself. I don't believe she takes any damage in this state. I think she will take damage when she gets released. But in order to free her, we're going to have to kill both of the snow cannons. If I have a good fire attack item, if I have a gushing magma, no, that's all. Okay, that is all enemies. So we'll just go ahead and use this, and it'll probably finish off the cannons. They don't have much health. Could you read that percent number at all? I sure couldn't. But yeah, you can see that finishes off the cannons. They've got basically no health. Meru gets spit out, and I believe this is where she'll take her damage, or maybe not. Nope, we're all good, so that was totally just a waste of a turn. Also, now that he has opened up the cavity, you can see we now have the heart as a target. That's kind of an alternate way to end this battle if you want. You can hit the heart, and I guess we'll do it even though Albert is our strongest member. And you'll see, okay, well, you see it only takes 1 damage, but the heart only needs to be damaged 3 separate times in order to finish the battle. But as you can see, the heart is now not targetable anymore since we've hit it. So if you can't really keep up the damage traditionally, you can sort of do it that way. But, you know, it's easy enough to just keep wailing on them. So they tried to be clever with the alternate target thing, but it's just really not necessary in the end. The snow cannons, if you leave them alive, though, you do kind of need to watch out because they attack pretty quickly, and they like to pick on Dart a lot, so he can very quickly go down if you're not paying attention to him. So the standard attack, Meru is back up again. And it's funny, this is one of the few times that Meru is actually giving us somewhat reliable damage output, since he has such low defense. And other than that, I think that's pretty much all he has. I don't know if he's got any abilities for spells. I honestly don't think so. He's a pretty simple enemy. Obviously, this guy's not a major boss. Just kind of a little mid-boss here to spice things up a little bit, I guess. Alright, so he's in the yellow. We're at least making good progress. We're over halfway there. He'll probably grab one of our party members at least one more time, probably just once. Otherwise, he'll just stick to his, you know, 2 main guns here. For once, I'm actually kind of glad he's targeting Meru a fair amount. She doesn't take too much damage from it, and she gets healed fairly regularly with that therapy ring. One thing I may actually do here is if we can speed this up a bit, we may actually do a final burst type deal, though it would involve going into special if I really wanted to get it powered up. Now, we might do that towards the end if I'm just really getting sick of the battle.
Go! First dance!
Of course, attack items are another way to go here, but I think his magical defense is higher than his physical defense is, so it may not be as worth it. You know, maybe one of those cases where you want to save your powerful magic items for bosses where you actually need them. Alright, so it looks like Albert's got caught up, so that's a little bit unfortunate, but okay, yeah, looks like they're going to get some turns. So this is basically what they do. They are also blue elemental, keep in mind, so Meru is pretty good against them. I don't think Meru has any all-hitting spells at this point. Did she? I can't remember if she learned her next spell or not. We may just, well, these guys are blue elementals, so it's not really worth it. And Windigo's in the red, so. If we don't have any more attack items with Dart, we may just go into his Dragoon form and use his, he does have an all-hitting fire spell, and that'll definitely take them out. So let's just see if we've got anything else that I'm not really using too much of. Yeah, so we're kind of running low on attack items. I've been using them a fair amount. So let's go ahead and just Dragoon form with Dart. We'll do an all-hitting fire spell in order to take out these cannons, and then we can maybe even use Final Burst on them in the end if we have enough MP left over. So let's see, we have Explosion, 25% to all. Not the best, but like I said, those cannons have pretty small health.
Explosion!
So yeah, you can see Windigo actually took very little damage from that. His magic defense is pretty good, so it's probably more worth it to just stick with regular physical attacks. And its heart's going to be exposed again, so if we want, we do have the chance to target that. But he's in the red. We're closer to just finishing him off normally, so let's just stick with it.
Hammer spin.
Alright, Albert's up again. Get some more good damage in.
Blossom Storm!
Hammer spin.
Alright, with Dart, I think I'm just going to do a Dragoon attack, because the Final Burst probably isn't really even worth it, and his attack is pretty strong. Especially when I can actually hit all the things. There we go, pretty good. Are we about to finish him off yet? Nope, not yet.
Blossom Storm!
Alright, it looks like that did it, and we made it out without too many scratches at all. That's a pretty easy battle. It just takes a little bit too long. I kind of wish they had lowered his health pool a little bit, but get some decent experience. Mara also gets a new addition, Cool Boogie, here from her levels. Everyone else levels up. Dart levels up one more time, apparently. And we're good to go. We barely defeated it. I mean, we only had to heal once, but barely defeated it. So the Tower of Flanvel is back there. So Mara got her Cool Boogie edition, which I'm actually not going to be switching to. So I hope you kind of like Hammer Spin for the time being. Cool Boogie, as you can see, already has a higher SP output than Hammer Spin does, even though Hammer Spin is almost to max level. Cool Boogie is her SP edition. Everybody pretty much has one of those, and the damage doesn't really scale well at all, so we're just going to stick with Hammer Spin. SP is not really that important for her, especially when I'm about there anyway with Hammer Spin, so we'll just keep it there. Alright, so let's figure out the way to go to head on up here. Black Rain, I suppose that's an all-hitting dark spell, probably. Still really not sure what all this stuff is. I guess it all comes from here. Yeah, and this is the Tower of Flanvel. It's the ruin where the moon mirror was placed. It's a swirl. Yeah, it is. What do you know? Doesn't seem to be built by humans. According to the legend, it was the Wingley's floating fort during the Dragon campaign. I heard, anyway. Yeah, of course, Rose. Indeed it is. Stop the ambitions of Lloyd here. The buck stops here. It stops with me. Alright, before we head in though, got a treasure chest here. We've got plenty of room, so we might as well pick up everything we can find. A Rave Twister. So another one of those attack items we may be able to make use of with Meru. And into the Tower of Flanvel we go. And unfortunately, the Tower of Flanvel pretty much just uses the same encounters that the Cashua Glacier did. It's kind of disappointing we've not been to a place with a unique battle theme since the Royal Capital Cadessa. Remember how cool that was? And then it's just, none of that. Just stick with the standard, like, 3 battle themes. So, this looks confusing. It's not really, though. All we have to do is just kind of, we don't even move around manually. We just keep rotating until we hit a teleporter. And they all just go 1-to-1 here. So, you know, we can go around. This one doesn't link to anything, so it's going to take us to a different area. It's really not too hard to figure out. There's only a few of them, as you can see anyway, so it's not like you can get terribly lost here. So we get a Mage Ring. That automatically restores MP, I think, every turn. So it may be useful if you're using a lot of magic power, but there's not been a lot of cases where I thought, man, I could really use some more MP. So we'll just go around here. It looks like this might lead us somewhere. Oh, looks like that's going to take us to the exit, in fact. So, like I said, pretty easy to figure out. Alright, so I guess that looks pretty much like the core. I can't imagine big shiny thing being anywhere else. Dragoon Spirit of the Divine Dragon is resonating. I love how Meru gets her wings out just to, like, go back into Dart. So we're going to do a little bit of a setup here, actually. Not too much. We're pretty much just going to be putting one thing on somebody. We are going to go to Albert, and if we can find it, we're going to give him this talisman. Remember this thing we picked up? It avoids instant death attacks, so we're going to lose his speed, but that's fine. We don't really need it at this point. We'll just stick him with the talisman. The reason for this is there's a little bit of a trick that I'm going to try to do. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but if it works, it makes things a lot easier in a coming battle, so we're going to make sure to have that preparation in place. So what's interesting here is it looks like Lloyd is in Dragoon form, right? He has like the armor and everything. So either this is some kind of special armor he has, or somehow he was chosen by the Dragoon Spirit after all. I'm not quite sure how that works, but either way, it looks like that's what's going on, so. And of course, he was expecting us. What kind of mastermind villain would he be if he didn't? Just got all 3 Divine Moon objects. Now the world will be reborn into the utopia that Emperor Diaz and I desire. The evolutionary plan created by the Great Will Soa, and the flow of evolution woven by the Divine Tree. Humans are 106th, we Winglies are 107th. We've briefly heard about this before. He desires the 108th evolution, a utopia created by the last species. For that, I'll use every conceivable means. You know what? Yeah, let's finish up. We've been chasing you for like 24 hours of gameplay now. Let's finish up, shall we? And again, no unique boss music for Lloyd. Come on, you're killing me with this lack of unique music. So we're in some kind of weird negaverse now. There's no floor. We're just kind of floating on something. And we are going to fight against Lloyd. No alternate targets or anything, no trickery here. Do keep in mind, though, he does have the Dragon Buster, but that can be manipulated to your advantage. We may see in a little bit. For now, though, I am going to throw... I was thinking of throwing an agility down, but that might mess things up. So let's actually just go ahead and attack with Meru. He has some powerful attacks that before we start manipulating him, if we can, could cause a little bit of damage to the party, but hopefully we'll be okay. Alright, so we're going to get to see his first one here. And of course, that has just like every JRPG hallmark right there. Ton of damage, of course. Hopefully we'll be okay from that. But yeah, you know, like big massive attack, random missiles that you don't know what they are, strange symbols that glow with energy. Like that's the most JRPG attack I could think of. So remember how I said Lloyd had the Dragon Buster, which is generally you would think it's not a good idea to turn into a Dragoon here. We're gonna do it with Albert because we gave him the talisman. Now what Lloyd is usually programmed to do is if somebody is in Dragoon form whenever his turn comes up, he'll try to use an instant death attack on that character. But what happens if you have the talisman equipped is that he keeps trying to use that instant death attack every time it's his turn, even though the character is immune to it. So you can sort of force Lloyd to be a little bit single-minded in that way and focus only on one target and give everybody else liberty to do whatever they want. It doesn't always work, though. I have had it happen before where sometimes he would do that, but then he'd still attack everybody else as well. So I'm going to throw up a Rose Storm here just to be safe. Also, the next time Meru gets around, I'm going to have her throw out a Healing Breeze or maybe even Dart if it's his turn, but... So we'll see if he decides to cooperate with that strategy or not. Like I said, sometimes he doesn't. I'm not sure what causes him to either cooperate or not. But, you know, even if he doesn't fully focus on that one person, he'll take a couple turns here and there. And that's also why I gave it to Albert, because 1, he's very slow, and 2, he has 5 SP at this point, so he'll be in Dragoon form the longest. So this would afford us, you know, the most amount of time to just go crazy on attacks. It is also worth mentioning that Lloyd is still very fast. He is a wingling, keep in mind, and he will occasionally just avoid your attacks. So it looks like he's at least working with us on the first turn. So this is what he does to anybody that's in Dragoon form, and like I said, this is normally just an instant death attack. You know, the thing comes up and says can't combat, but since Albert has the talisman, he's immune to that. Instead of just making it like 9999 damage for some reason, they decided to make it counterable with a talisman. So, assuming he keeps going after Albert each turn, then we should pretty much be free to do whatever we want. And whenever Albert's about to go out of Dragoon form, we can throw up another Rose Storm, and that'll protect us until Albert gets enough SP in order to go back into that form again. So it's kind of a nice little cycle. You should be able to take him out before you have to run out of MP by that point. Yeah, so it looks like he is, in fact, playing along. He's just keeping on going after Albert here, so this will help us tremendously in the fact that we don't have to deal with that massive attack that he used earlier. Of course, it doesn't help when he's showing off and dodging everything. It may also be worth it if you really care to put on some kind of accuracy up accessories to avoid that kind of thing. But, okay, so he's, yeah, like I said, sometimes he does it, sometimes he doesn't. So, looks like we're gonna have to deal with a bit of an attack here, but it's not too bad. Light attacks can be kind of annoying, though. They tend to do a lot of damage for some reason. But Meru's got pretty high magic defense, so she can take it. So like I said, sometimes he won't always go after them, but, you know, if he does it at least once, then it saved you a turn of damage, so it's worth it. And it's not like Albert is useless in Dragoon form either. Yeah, so it looks like Meru is taking some damage here. We should probably focus on getting her fixed up a little bit. We may throw out a healing fog her way, although I would like to attack with Dart and actually get some decent damage in. Alright, Meru's up. Let's just have her guard. That'll restore another 10% of her health, and she'll take half damage, so it's worth it. It's not like her physical damage is really anything to write home about anyway.
Too slow.
Oh, he dodged that? Really? I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. Alright, so that's a pretty strong physical attack. But again, we've got the health to deal with it at this point. Meru is pretty much back on top, so let's go ahead and just have her attack. We need to make sure the damage does keep rolling in. We don't want to sit here and try to get into a battle of attrition with him.
Yes. Yes. Go. Crack dance.
Alright, so it looks like Albert bought us some time again. That's always good. And if I remember correctly, his magic defense is also pretty high, so while you may be tempted to use some of those attack items on him, it may not actually pan out that well. Alright, Albert's getting close to going back to normal form here, so... Ah, whoops. He may just dodge it anyway.
Missed.
Yep. So, that works. Alright, he is in the yellow, though, so we're making good progress. That's pretty much all there is to this fight. We've seen just about all there is that he has to do. That most powerful attack is kind of the one to watch out for. He can occasionally have some pretty high damage single targeting spells. But, you know, it's kind of just the usual strategy at this point. We've got enough equipment that we can deal with, you know, most people. So it's kind of just heal whoever needs it, and that's about it. Oh yeah, I forgot about that attack. Kind of a weird animation, doesn't really do too much more damage than anything else he does normally. It looks like it was gonna hit everyone and then it just focuses on one target. That's kind of a strange one, but nothing too bad to watch out for, as you can see. It's pretty much just your standard damage at this point. Alright, Albert's up again, so we're about to lose his distraction. Let's go ahead and just throw up another Rose Storm in order to protect us until he can get back into Dragoon form again, and hopefully draw his fire a couple times if need be. Always good to have that protection. Rose Storm is such a great spell.
Over here.
I love that he still does the same "over here, missed" type thing that he did back from the arena all the way back in Disc 1, you know?
Hammer spin.
So this will hurt Dart a little bit. Won't hurt Meru as much. But that's a super weak spell. It also helps that we were protected there. Alright, Meru is still good. I tell you, that therapy ring is doing a lot of work to protect her so much with so little health. So he's dodged me a little more than I would have liked in this fight, which is making it take a little bit longer. Albert missed a couple of times while in Dragoon form, so that's always unfortunate. May have to have Meru guard the next time she comes up. Actually, I probably should have healed her now that I think about it. Yeah, we'll just have her guard. She's still protected by Rose Storm, so... that'll help even further. He's in the red. We're just about there. This will help. I was going to say, assuming I don't mess that up. Alright, we'll just have her guard again just to be extra safe, because I think her Rose Storm protection just ran out on that turn. A normal attack on Albert. Nothing to worry about there.
Yes. Go.
So we should be finishing this relatively soon. He doesn't have much left. I thought that might actually do it, but I guess we got a little more. Be careful not to make the mistake of ignoring people's HP just because you're at the end of a battle. We are going to heal even though he's relatively close to dying, because keep in mind, if anybody is dead at the end of a battle, they do not get any experience. So that would very much put them behind in a battle like this, maybe even 1 or 2 complete levels. So make sure you keep them alive till the end.
Blossom Storm!
Ha!
Well, I guess she ain't a sacred sister for nothing, huh? You got compassion even to somebody who completely betrayed you on a level you couldn't even imagine. Stepped in and saved Lloyd at the last minute. Moonstrike! New edition. Alright, things are about to get fun with Dart. Get some more levels on the bench here.